Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are tackling a really frustrating paradox that I think plagues almost every organization.
Especially those involved in high-stakes projects or, big complex sales deals.
Exactly. And you've felt this before. You've invested so much in talent, you assemble what you think is a dream team.
Oh yeah, the perfect CVs, deep expertise, all the top performers.
You look at the roster and think, this is it. This is a guaranteed success.
But then, when they face that one crucial contract, the one that needs real teamwork,
Yeah.
they flounder.
They get stuck, they argue, and they just can't seem to close. It's the all-star paradox, right? Big deals demand a team.
But the team itself often ruins the deal. It's like watching a lineup of superstars who've, never even met.
So our sources on this offer a really sharp diagnosis for why this happens. They say that individual talent is always, well, it's a necessary condition.
It gets you in the game, sure, but it is never the complete formula for winning. You just can't substitute talent for structure.
So if talent isn't the formula, what is?
The true formula is the system. It's the operating architecture that makes those stars align, stand in the right positions, and this is key look in the same direction.
A system that compels them to protect the common goal, not just their own ego.
That's it.
So our mission in this deep dive is to basically extract that operating system. We're going to uncover the structures, the blueprints needed to turn that individual genius into collective success.
So if you're on a team with world-class talent that's not getting world-class results, this one is for you.
Okay, so let's start with the symptoms. If you recognize these patterns in your organization, you're probably stuck in what the sources call the all-star trap.
The first one is a classic. Think about that fantastic salesperson, the one who can close dozens of small deals fast.
Right. All on their own. Pure charisma and skill.
But why does that same person just freeze up when you put them on a massive, complex contract that involves, say, 3 different internal departments? They just stop moving forward.
That's a huge one. Or think about your meetings. You get a room full of your smartest people, right? The experts.
And they spend 35 minutes arguing over some trivial detail.
Instead of just deciding on the next actual step to move the deal forward.
And here's the one that drives management crazy. The efficiency killer. Teams get more KPIs, more reports, more project management software.
And somehow efficiency goes down. The process itself becomes the roadblock.
It does.
But the real sting, I think, is when you lose the contract, you do the postmortem, and you realize every single expert on the team had a point.
Everyone sounded right. They all had a logical, valid argument.
But the result was no contract. They all held an oar, but the boat just spun in circles.
The diagnosis for all of this, the root cause, is the lack of a common language.
What does that mean exactly?
Well, when a deal gets complex, you need synchronization. But without that shared language, each member is basically operating in their own little universe.
Right, so you have one person speaking the language of data and metrics.
Another is focused only on customer emotions, the relationship. A third person is all about the 12-month vision. And a fourth is just going off of gut feel and past experience.
They're all talking, but they're not really communicating.
Exactly. They are engaged in what the source calls misaligned dialogue. They hear the words, but they don't understand the meaning or the priority behind them. It's a complete tragedy of non-coordination.
That really shifts the blame, doesn't it? It's less about competence and more about a failure to translate.
It moves it from the individual to the system.
It reminds me of that baseball analogy the sources used about leadership selling the future for one quick win.
Oh, that's such a powerful metaphor for prioritizing glory over health. Imagine a team just liquidating its assets.
Selling off young players, dismantling their whole training system.
Draining financial reserves, all just to buy a bunch of expensive famous stars for one single season.
They might win that one year, sure, but what happens next?
It's a disaster. No reserves, massive debt, the training pipeline is gone, and the stars leave as soon as their contracts are up. You've won one season, but you've lost the next 5 years.
And the fatal flaw, the part that applies directly to business, is when leadership looks at this team and thinks,
we have the best people. We don't need a coach.
No leadership needed, no cooperation needed. Let the best person play their own game.
And that's when you see the chaos in the real world. The internal blame, the conflict, the loss of that huge contract. It's a team where individual brilliance actually creates drag.
Which brings us right to the core diagnosis. A group doesn't lose because it lacks talent.
It loses because it lacks an operating system.
I really like that framing. It shifts the problem from personal fault to something structural, something you can actually manage and fix.
And that operating system is defined by four things. It's system plus rhythm plus discipline plus a common language.
So if the team is a boat, the rhythm is how often the oars hit the water together.
Without that, you're dead in the water.
And that brings up the role of the captain, the leader.
Mm.
And they're not always the strongest rower, are they?
Not at all. The captain is the one who holds the direction. More importantly, they maintain the vital rhythm. They might not be the top salesperson, but without their pacing, the team just spins.
And that's so important because on these big deals, clients aren't buying an individual.
No, they're buying the operational capacity of the whole team.
They're buying coordination.
Exactly. A big solution needs real implementation. Bidding needs perfect alignment. High risks need shared responsibility. The client has to know that when the star salesperson leaves, the system is still there.
This gets to the central idea you have to remember. Talent does not automatically create coordination.
No, it really doesn't. If you just hire smart people, they will naturally optimize for their own success.
So coordination has to be.
Coordination is a design skill.
Okay, so if it's a design skill, we need the blueprint. The sources lay out 5 essential layers of this operating system.
The backbone you have to build.
Tier 1 is the shared strategic plan. And this can't just be some vague goal like, let's be better this year.
It has to be a map, a detailed map. And a good map establishes where you are right now from 4 perspectives: strategy, finance, process, and relationship.
A full 360-degree view of your starting point and a clear destination for the next 12 months.
And to keep everyone focused, the sources stress the rule of 3. You have to limit your focus to no more than 3 strategic themes.
Why only 3?
It's about cognitive load. If you give an all-star team 10 priorities, they'll just pick the 3 that benefit their own silo the most.
Right.
If everything's the most important, then, well...
Then nothing is the most important.
Exactly.
Tier 2 is one of my favorites, the internal IKEA effect, the 60% draft.
It's brilliant applied psychology. Think about it. If you, as a leader, present a 100% perfect, polished plan to your team...
What's the only way they can add value?
By criticizing it, by poking holes in it. They become antagonists because they weren't part of creating it.
So instead, you present the 60% draft, the core framework, the direction, but with gaps.
And you invite the team to complete the other 40%. It flips a switch. They go from being critics to co-creators. They feel ownership because they helped build it.
That's powerful. Okay, tier 3, the right metrics. This is where so many teams get it wrong because they measure way too late.
They're obsessed with lagging indicators.
Things like total revenue, contracts signed.
Right. The results.
Yeah.
By the time you know those numbers are wrong, the mistake happened weeks or months ago. You're just measuring history.
So a winning system focuses on leading indicators, the actions and behaviors that actually guide the result.
But you have to measure behavior without it feeling like micromanagement, which talented people hate.
So how do you do that?
You measure strategic effort, not just hours. Track things like the number of meaningful business development conversations, or the frequency of what the sources call give-get proposals.
Let's define give-get really quick because that's a great concept.
It's not just a proposal. A give-get is when you offer real value before you ask for something. So instead of asking for a 90-minute demo,
You first send them, say, a custom risk report they can use right away for free.
you give value, then you ask for the next step. Tracking that proves the team is thinking strategically, not just transactionally.
Okay, tier 4. Cross-coaching and the positive ratio. Why is it so important for peers to coach each other?
Because colleagues see the daily details a manager might miss, and it reduces management bias. But you have to protect the team from becoming a place where all-stars just compete and critique.
And that's where the critical ratio comes in.
Absolutely. The volume of positive, specific praise has to overwhelm any constructive feedback.
And not just great job, it has to be specific.
That has to be surgical. You did X action and it created Y result.
Yeah.
That's what reinforces the right behaviors in the system.
And finally, tier 5. Celebrating small wins to create big momentum.
The brain needs rewards. If the only celebration is the final contract a year from now, the team will burn out.
You have to generate that winning energy during the process itself.
Celebrate securing a quality meeting. Celebrate a successful give-get. Celebrate closing the next small step in a big discussion. Those little wins hold the rhythm together.
Okay, so we have the framework. Now let's get really practical. The 5-step checklist to start building this team this week.
This is how you go from theory to practice.
Step 1. Appoint the captain. And again, this isn't the most talented person. This is the guardian of the system.
Their job is to hold the rhythm. Remind the team of the three themes: maintain data discipline, close the next steps, and protect the culture from egos.
Step 2. Write the 60% plan and complete it together. Hold a real working session.
Do not write the 100% plan alone. Come with the core ideas, but leave big parts blank and let the team fill them in. That's how you create ownership.
Step 3. Finalize 3 strategic themes and set clear behavioral rules.
Once the themes are locked in, you have to translate them into behavior. Rules like, we always start discovery meetings by listening for 10 minutes, or all follow-ups must add new value.
It standardizes the common language.
That's it.
Step 4. Choose 3 to 5 leading indicators and report on them.
And don't aim for perfection here. Just start. Measuring this subjectively right way that everyone agrees to is so much better than chasing some perfect system that nobody uses.
And step 5. Hold a system kickoff meeting.
A dedicated 90 or 120-minute meeting to launch everything. It's not a presentation. It's about unification on the strategy, the new behaviors, the metrics, and how you're going to celebrate.
This entire approach, it really changes teamwork from this soft, emotional thing
Into a manageable structural operation. Big deals are almost never lost on ideas. They're lost on execution.
And the choice for a leader becomes pretty clear.
It really does. If you ignore the system, your talented people will subconsciously protect their own egos and their own metrics.
But if you implement this kind of operating system,
They'll subconsciously protect the common goal. They'll protect the rhythm and the system that makes everyone successful. It's a fundamental shift.
so if you are leading one of these high-talent teams, here's the provocative thought to leave you with. The question you should be asking yourself.
Don't start by asking, how do I hire more talented people? That might be the wrong question entirely.
Instead, ask this. How do I ensure the talented people I already have don't neutralize each other?
Because maybe, just maybe, you don't have a talent problem. You just have an operating system problem.
Share this deep dive with someone wrestling with that all-star paradox. They might just be one system away from guaranteed success.